Hello, my name is Ulysses Salinas. I shall be giving a presentation on how to set up and play a decent Nintendo 64 game. As my audience, I kindly ask to please interact with the controllers I will now pass out, as they will help understanding both the game and the console itself. The Nintendo 64, as you see here, was a cartridge-based console produced by Nintendo in cooperation with Silicon Graphics. It was codenamed Project Reality on August 23, 1993. As development went on, it was renamed the Ultra 64 by June 23, 1994. It was finally revealed as the well-known Nintendo 64 at the Shoshinkai Japanese Game Trade Convention on November 23, 1995. From there, it released on March of 1996 in North America, June of 1996 in Japan, and March of 1997 in Europe. Now I will demonstrate the console, its components, and who will be helping me. This is my brother Omar. He is an audience member and he shall be helping me in setting up and demonstrating the console. This is the Nintendo 64 system. It's the control deck, and it has 2 buttons and a memory expansion cover, as well as where to place the cartridge. The button on the right is the power switch. The button on the left is the reset switch. The console came with a 120 volt or 24 watt AC adapter that plugs into the wall. It's already been plugged in for ease of the discussion. This will now be plugged into the console. Furthermore, one requires a digital AV cable, component cable, that plugs into the TV and the console, also included with the console. It is now plugged in. Finally, the whole point of this, you need the game to play. This is a Nintendo 64 game cartridge, now inserted into the console. And lastly, the most important part in order to enjoy, the game controller. The game controller has many components. It has the C control buttons. As you can see there, you can press them and they work. The blue A button, which you can also press. The green B button, which you can also press. The start button, which is a big red button in the center. The trigger button on the back of the controller, which is a Z button, and an analog stick, which provided 360-degree digital control of the game environment. From here, we will now have at least one audience member play through the game, while everyone here mimics the controls that I give out. From here, you progress to the start screen by pressing the red button on your controllers. Furthermore, you go down to the second file using the control stick, press the A button to access a file. The file is created by simply putting your name in, and it'll automatically save as such. From there, you press Start, Yes, to be able to play. Now, the character is in the environment. This is Legend of Zelda, and this is Link. Link now needs to leave his house. For the purpose of this demonstration, Link will only need to acquire the sword. In order to move around, you use the control stick. As you can see on your controllers, you can mess around with that and it'll work. Here in the cutscene, Link needs to leave his house, find the Kokiri sword. In order to go past dialog boxes, you press the blue A button. Climb down the ladder using the analog control stick, and from here you will go on and find the forest, part of the forest where you'll find the sword. You will go left and then up a dirt ramp into what appears to be a garden and go into a hole in the wall. You can climb over various parts of the stages by simply going forward. You approach the wall and press the A button to go inside. You crawl through by holding up on the analog stick. Here you adjust your camera angle using the Z button. You go left, go right through the grassy patch, avoiding the obstacle of course, and go find the sword, which is to the left, and then right again. You have found the treasure chest containing the sword. While he gets the sword, I will name a couple things that are very special about the 64. The Nintendo 64 came with 4 megabytes of RAM, expandable by buying and inserting an expansion pack in a cover here on the 64, expanding it up to 8 megabytes. Another cool thing is that the 64, from the beginning, was planned to have a first-party add-on that went on the bottom of the console called the Nintendo 64 Disk Drive, or the Nintendo 64 DD. It was a device that allowed the 64 to read magneto-optical diskettes in order to play a wide variety of games and expansions to games that were released on cartridges. Unfortunately, it failed in Japan and never saw the light of day in the United States. Another cool aspect of the 64 DD was that it allowed, through the use of a modular cartridge, the Nintendo 64 to connect to the internet. That allowed a wide variety of activities, such as sharing images and other things. Now back to the game. By pressing A, you will skip most of the dialogue. Unfortunately, it is rather slow on the 64. Now by pressing the start button, pressing the Z button again, and again, and scrolling the control stick to the left, you will press the A button, press start, and you will now have the sword by pressing B. You are now able to play the quest. Thank you, Omer, for your kind demonstration of skills. And thank you, audience members, for participating with the controllers. As we have seen here today, everyone can enjoy the benefits this console has to offer. And through proper education, the fun this console has to offer can be experienced as it was the day you bought it on release day. Thank you.